Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm making a no-bake cheesecake. It's Oreo. It turned out really great and it's easy to do. I started out with 3 blocks of cream cheese. I'd taken out 4 just in case I needed the extra one, but I felt like 3 was enough. And I had let them soften. I could have let them soften a little bit longer, so I suggest taking them out an hour before you're ready to do your recipe. They were still a little bit firm here when I started. Took a little bit extra effort to mix them up. But if you take them out an hour in advance, you won't have that issue. And just breaking it up a little bit more so it's easier on my mixer. And getting the cream cheese that's stuck in the blender out. This is a great recipe to take to someone's house for dinner or just for dessert to enjoy at home. You can use any kind of pan that you like for size. I used a larger one, but I think next time I'd use a smaller one just to get more of a thickness for the cheesecake. And here I'm just adding my icing sugar. In total, I used about 1.5 cups. I just added a 1/2 cup at a time to see exactly what I needed. Always go by taste, right? I think next time maybe I'll add 2 cups. So if you wanted a little sweeter, you could go for the 2 cups of the icing sugar. It started to become easier to mix after a little bit. I love these spatulas. I had just gotten them. They work great. Help clearing the sides of the bowl just to make sure everything's mixed in consistently. And there you can see it nice and soft now. And I got my Oreos ready. I used most of the package for this part, for the crust. And then I just melted a good amount of butter to mix in with the Oreos when I crush them in the blender. And then I took parchment paper just to line the bottom of the pan. I used the spring pan. I probably use a smaller one, like I said, next time, just to get more thickness, but it did turn out great. Just adding my butter, giving it a blend. You want it to all come together. I ended up having to mix a few more crumbs after I put this in because it didn't quite cover the bottom. Just pressing it down, trying to compact it as best as possible. The fork worked the best, honestly. And then I just heated up more butter, a few more Oreos just to finish off that bottom to make sure it was completely covered. And just pressing down the remainder of that. Then I put that in the fridge for about 15 minutes just to let it all come together and cool down so that when you put your filling, it didn't get into the crumbs of the Oreo. You wanted your filling to stay white. And then I just added a splash of vanilla extract. I didn't want to add too much because I didn't want to lose the color. but just enough for flavor. Just adding in the cream cheese. And then I ended up putting this in the fridge for about 5 hours just to cool. Spreading it out in an even layer as best as you can. So it's good to make a few hours ahead of time just so it has that time in the fridge. And then here I am melting up a good few tablespoons of butter with some milk. Just bringing that together to heat it because I'm going to pour that over the chocolate chips. And you're going to want to constantly stir this on a low heat just to bring it together. If you've been enjoying my content, please like and subscribe and hit the reminder button so you can see when all my videos pop up for the next great recipe. Now back to the cheesecake. I continued to stir just to make sure it didn't heat up too quickly or it didn't stick to the bottom. Again, just keeping it on a low heat. And once it was warm enough, I added it to the chocolate chips and stirred consistently to melt all the chocolate. And then you're going to want to put that in the fridge for about 5 to 10 minutes. Preferably even a little bit longer. I'd say closer to 20 minutes to cool down the chocolate. Here I'm just whipping cream to make it into a whipped cream for the top of the cake that I'm going to pipe on later. You have to whip this for about 5 minutes, I'd say, before it gets thick enough. And you could continue to do so to make it even thicker than I did, but it was enough just to stay together. Just clearing the sides of the bowl just to get it all in one spot so I can continue to mix it. And here's the cheesecake, just loosening the edges with a butter knife. Like I said before, you could do a smaller pan so it's thicker. This was about 1 inch thick for the cheesecake. I'm just adding the chocolate on top. And like I said, you could leave that in the fridge even longer than I did. It was a little bit too runny. I didn't want to cover the whole top of the cheesecake, just enough to give some flavor with the chocolate. And here I filled a piping bag, well, homemade piping bag. I just used parchment paper. And you can do any design you like on top. I just went around the edges and then put a little bit in the middle. Turned out pretty cute. Like I said, I didn't want the chocolate to cover the whole top. I just did like a random design. And there I am making my second piping bag just to do the middle part of the whipped cream. You guys will have to let me know in the comments if you make this recipe and how you like it. And here I am just breaking up the remainder for Oreos that I had saved. And you can do anything you want with these, really, even just cut them in half. But I just sprinkled them all over the cheesecake. And that was it. It was really delicious, so you guys will have to try it. Thanks for watching.